Hello and welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. I know it's been a hot minute. Woohoo! I'm Ron. Dude over there, Mr. Everything, John Yaglensky. Sorry, I was writing the quiz of the day, so I wasn't paying attention and I didn't realize we were live. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
Welcome in. Oh my God, it's been so long. I was going to post last week, and then I didn't. That's really no real excuse about that. And
nice.
I think I posted about the planting my yard. I had a big pile.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've sprouted.
The grass is coming up. Well, okay. Let me talk to you about the
there we go.
The saga of the yard. But before I do, John,
yes,
John,
what?
Pull up a Christmas song because it's June 24th. It is half Christmas Eve, baby.
Oh,
half Christmas
Eve.
Just hear the sleigh bells ringling, jing, jing, jingling too. Come on, it's lovely. It's really hot in this get-up right here. Just think about that. 6 months from now, it's going to be Christmas Eve, actually. And John and I have had this discussion, and I've mentioned it on our Christmas shows. I like Christmas Eve more than I like Christmas Day because the anticipation, the magic. Yeah. So it's 6 months from now. Think about that. But here's another thing. It was 6 months ago. So, I mean, it's gone by like that. I mean, I'm still writing or typing 2024 on some documents. I am. It used to be, hey, I'm still writing 2024 on my checks, but I don't write checks. I haven't. Well, no, I take that back. I write a check to our lawn guy.
Yeah.
And but anyway, happy Christmas.
Years now.
I think I'm gonna watch It's a Wonderful Life. I'll watch something. Probably maybe the Santa Claus, something today and tomorrow. Much to the greatest wife ever's chagrin. I'm never gonna be able to convince her of that. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna watch whatever we watch. Maybe we'll catch up on Below Deck. There you go. Jim has just posted. By the way, you can interact with us on our Facebook or on our YouTube at any time and send in a comment, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. But 5 months until Jim's birthday. All right, good. So you're in. Okay, so you're in November, baby. So anyway,
same.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You are. I forgot.
Yes,
I'm a September baby. So, anyway, what was I talking about? I completely forgot. Oh, so we'll catch up on Below Deck or something like that. And then after she falls asleep, then I'll trip on over to Disney Plus or whatever and see if I can watch a holiday film. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't finish it, John. There's a reboot.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the question of the day.
And 2016.
Hasn't finished it.
In 2016. Okay. There you go.
All right, good. All right, good. Behind the scenes stuff.
Sorry about that. I was writing the question of the day, and I had to look up. I had to give you a super duper giveaway clue because it's not readily apparent when you hear the question. So I give you an opportunity to noodle it out. So anyway, half Christmas, I will be watching something of that nature. So I didn't even put it on here. I totally forgot about it because we ripped out all of the shrubs that were in our front yard. I think I've told you about that. They were low. Yeah, low growing.
And snakes.
They got so big with snakes, and so everything got ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was a while back, and the roots and all. So we've had just a dirt front yard, and I've gone out and pulled up weeds and did all of that. And I was just gonna plant grass because I think I've said before, my father, growing up, my older brother and I, we worked on the yard, and we had the most perfect carpet of Kentucky 31 tall fescue Kentucky bluegrass in our yard because we aerated it, seeded it.
Can I Can you send your dad down to my lawn this year? Because like I had 2 years where it was great, and this year it's like a mess.
I'll work on your lawn. I know what to do.
Come on down.
Absolutely. I'll come down and I'll work on your yard.
We need some.
All depends on what kind of grass you want.
Well, we have to grow like centipede or St. Augustine here. That's a whole different thing.
That's a different thing. So I did some research. Greatest Wife Ever and I did some research and realized, well, I had our yard guy just finally just spray some weed killer and kill all the weeds. So they're all gone and
carpet
brown and ugly. Yep. And I started to dig some of them up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get some topsoil.
Yep.
So we looked it up and we found that, and we talked to these guys right near here. It's a co-op, which I've passed by 1,000 times, never stopped in. Okay. Really nice place, you know. And they have top seed and gravel and mulch and blah blah blah. So I got a 50-50 blend of mushroom compost, which is full of nutrients and it holds moisture longer.
Yep.
And topsoil, and had it delivered, and it was delivered while I was gone, while I was at work.
Of course.
And I just get this picture, and it was the dump truck just back. So now I have about a 3.5 to 4 foot tall pile of topsoil and compost in my front yard.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I can't let that sit there. So I spent the day it was delivered on Friday. I spent a Saturday before Father's Day and I used the snow shovel, you know, because it's a bigger, wider area, right? I had my snow shovel. And
why did you not take pictures?
And you couldn't dig into it, right? So I had to have my rake pull it onto the shovel and then walk it over and dump it and then spread it all out. So I spread it. I got it evenly spread out, and that sat there for a couple of days. And then we had so many storms that came. Anyway, I went and got grass seed. I got fertilizer, and I planted the grass seed, and I cultivated it. You know, it's called a cultivator, but really, if you watched any television commercial ever, it's the garden weasel. So greatest way I've ever bought the garden weasel with the blades. Cultivator. So, you know, buried the seeds and it was like a week is going by and nothing. We had a bunch of storms that came through and nothing's happening. Nothing. And then finally, even when I said to Greatest Wife Ever, I'm like, nothing's happening. I mean, what's going on? Is it the wrong seed? Did I not? Are the birds eating it, all the stuff? Because I didn't cover it with straw or anything, and or hay. And they the very next day, I saw 2 little bleep, bleep. I'm like, oh, it's coming. My lawn is coming. And I swear, 24 hours, it popped up. It was the weirdest thing. I bet if I stood there and stared at it for 15, 20 minutes, I'd watch it pop up. It was that fast. So now we're in the watering phase because now we're in a heat wave. So you can only water in the morning and water at dusk. You don't water during the day because you'll just steam and cook your grass.
Fry it.
Yeah. And so I think I told you about the dead tree we have in our, you know, the big giant pine tree.
The backyard, yeah.
Yeah, 100-foot pine tree. It's dead. And we contacted an arborist to come over and take a look at it because there was a giant branch that came down in a storm. And the greatest way so we called this arborist that came over to take a look at it, and he said that the weight of the rain made it. He says that any storm, it's not going to blow the tree over because there's no leaves to catch no needles to catch the wind. So it's fine. But it is dead, and we scheduled a bucket truck. He can't climb it. It's that bad. Scheduled a bucket truck to come in, and it's happening on this Thursday. Well, last week, I want to say Friday, I was at work and on the air at Frederick's Key 103. Download the app. And And I get this video from The Greatest Wife Ever because these really bad storms were going through, not tornadoes, severe thunderstorms with high winds and heavy downpours. And she had just turned on her cell phone to point at the tree, and it cracked and was blown over in the storm. The tree that I was told was not going to go. Now, it's a dual trunk tree, right? So the dual trunks, it split at the bottom and then it grew side by side. So basically it was like two trees. So one half came down and it threaded the needle between our house and the neighbor's house, because we're an N unit townhouse, and it came right down in between. Didn't hit a thing. Didn't hit my fence around my yard. Didn't hit my deck. I know. I'm like, oh, you could have hit the deck. I could have called my homeowner's insurance. But anyway, so we were very, very lucky that it didn't hit anything or anyone. And then I had to call them and go like, you might want to take a look at this because you don't have to take down half the tree now.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think that's going to adjust my price.
yeah, right. Yeah, well, they still have to cut up the other part.
Also, you can't access it with the bucket truck because it fell right where the truck was going to pull up. So now you got to get rid of that first.
Right.
So he's going to come out and take a look at the assessment. But yeah, there you go. But my lawn is growing, and I'm very excited about that because once I get a nice hello, Susan. Susan just posted long time. It has been a hot minute, yes. But we'll get into why in just a second. Actually, let's get into it right now. So John, Mr. Everything, my partner here, had some time, and he took some time. Now he's been going on a lot of business trips, and he's been busy. But this trip was just he and his greatest wife ever, and they went on a cruise. So correct. John, cruise.
Yeah. Cruise. Yes.
Go.
Yeah, we did what was it, an 8-night cruise to the ABCs.
Okay, that would be
Aruba,
Bahamas.
No. Now I'm forgetting what the B is. Stacy, what was the B?
The bibbidi baba,
bibbidi bobbidi and Curacao or
okay.
I can't.
Caracas.
Curacao, like blue, the blue liqueur that you have.
Yeah, Curacao.
Curacao. That's it. Curacao. That's where it comes from.
Oh, okay. All right. So you hit that. All right.
We literally brought back for our neighbor some of that. And
how was your cabin? First of all, how were your accommodations?
So no, everything was great. We had I'm looking up, by the way, ABC Islands. Hold on. I want to find
I was going to look it up. You talk.
Okay. Bonaire. Bonaire was the middle one. That's it. Okay.
Would never have guessed that in a million years.
No, it's a deep Caribbean cruise. So what that meant was on the 8-day cruise, we had 2 sea days going out to get there and then 2 sea days coming back, and then to spend 3 days on the island, including your sail away day and things like that. So it was great. We were on the Carnival celebration, which is
how were the sea days, by the way, during the hurricane season?
They're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
No issues at all. Actually, very smooth for the most part. There was maybe one day where it was you could feel the boat moving a little bit, but it was good. So, and we're on Carnival's biggest ship, which roughly has about 6,500 passengers on it, in addition to about 1,500 crew.
Goodness.
It's huge.
Crazy.
I mean, it is seriously huge. So we had been on the Mardi Gras, which was the sister ship to the celebration, and it's very similar, although we did find some differences and some stuff that I liked better actually on the Mardi Gras. They had this bar on the Mardi Gras that was really cool, that was called the Fortune Teller Lounge, and it was kind of a Harry Potter-esque vibe, and they would make cool drinks and the blow up bubbles and the smoke and the whole 9 yards, and it cool, was really cool. Did not have that on this ship, but I will tell you, was a great time. I enjoyed the ship more than I did the islands themselves. I got to be honest with you, we still have yet to top I think our favorite island being St. John's in the Virgin Island, because like 3/4 of it is a national park, and you take a Jeep and you just drive and you hop out on a beach, and you're maybe the only person on that beach, like as you're driving along, and then you drive along to the next beach and you hop out and nobody's there too, or maybe 1 or 2 people are there, and it's just beautiful. It was interesting to see Aruba, because of and the irony of going there as Brian Wilson passed, by the way, one of the Beach Boys' last hits,
right?
Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
Yes. So,
Bahama. I think we played that at Magic 106.9 FM.
We absolutely did, and I have a picture of me with the Beach Boys on.
Oh, that's right. They played at the Hagerstown Speedway or the fair or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I probably it was hard figuring out which island we liked the best of the 3. I'm feeling like maybe it was Bonaire. That was the one that we liked the most, but the ship was great. We had a room with an extended balcony. If you're taking a cruise, balcony time is critical. Okay. I'm just telling you, that's one of the places we love to decompress. We're not so much into the sitting at the pool with 1 million people in it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's my, okay.
Right.
Now that's one of the things, because the Greatest Wife Ever and I, she doesn't want to cruise. She'll never cruise. And we've looked at all these wonderful, wonderful pictures of 15, maybe 20 people at a pool and you're lounging and there's a kid. Yay. And then if you look up online, show me real pictures of a cruise. And it's 75 people and maybe you can dip a piggy in. And
I'll give you the straight out honest thing here.
I'm ready.
Okay,
hit me.
So the regular pools are best on days where everybody's on shore. Okay, so if you're going to do
when nobody's there, exactly.
Right, because most people are away doing excursions, so you kind of take your time in the main pool there. Hot tubs at night, usually pretty good call.
Bacteria stew.
What?
Yuck. Bacteria stew, dude. In a hot tub?
Chlorine, just like any pool, dude. Anyway,
all right, I guess.
And then one of the nicest thing on this ship, there was an adults only area called Serenity, which also had its own pool and had its own area and chairs and stuff. No joke. That was where we went. And, I did actually go in the pool there. There were probably 7 people in that pool at the time.
All right.
The lounges were on the top level of the ship, which meant you got an awesome breeze coming on. So you could be out on the hottest days, and they had plenty of seating and like everything from beds to lounges to chairs. And of course there was an adults only bar up there as well. So that, as Jim says, Serenity now. Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Serenity now. That was our favorite part of that. Also, these ships, the Carnival high-end ships, have dining, which is different. They have a main dining room, which is typical on other cruise ships, right? But they also have about 5 or 6 specialty restaurants, of which at least 3 of them are included for no additional charge. There's Chibang, which is an Asian and Mexican combo. Yeah, it's strange, but it works. It works.
Does
there
it?
Was,
all right.
Capatina del Cucina, an Italian restaurant. There was Guy's Pig and Anchor, which was barbecue and beer,
of course. Yeah.
and a brewery. They actually have a brewery on the ship.
Oh my God.
Which is awesome.
Hey, you can't get away from it. Everybody has a brewery.
I love it. And the beer was good too, by the way. And also there was Guy's Burger, Guy's Burger joint, which was good. Yeah. Honestly, really good. All those were included that you could schedule and do dining. And then there were at least two buy-up restaurants Rudy's Sea Grill, which was a high-end, obviously fish,
seafood restaurant,
lobster, all that kind of stuff, and Steakhouse, or Fahrenheit 555, which is the steakhouse, which was great. Now, in addition to all that, because, and I will thank, by the way, Carnival Media Relations, and you can check out all the coverage on intercot.com. Or go to our social media feeds. There's a bunch of posts and things like that. But they knew we were coming. I let them know. They gave us free Wi-Fi on the ship, which was nice. And then on top of that, we had a rep that was calling us, trying to, help us make reservations and things like that. We only used her like twice the whole ship. I just didn't feel like bugging her. But one of the things she did was she got us a galley tour of the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Which was cool, man.
For which restaurant?
For the main dining room.
Oh, for the main dining room. Okay.
Which was wholly impressive.
That had to have been something. Yeah.
I mean, it was great. And it turned out to be a tasting as well.
Oh, so, nice. Oh, that's even better.
We're standing there talking to the sous chef in charge of the whole kitchen and like trying stuff as he's telling us all about it and eating in front of him. And while we're asking, how many people, how do they prepare for this kind of stuff? And, how do they know? And do they have a pretty good idea of, so they don't waste food and things like that. So it was super, super fun actually doing that and seeing behind the scenes. I mean, if you can imagine the culinary of trying to orchestrate for, 6,500 guests. Now, probably 3,000 or 4,000 of which probably ate in the main dining room.
How many different seatings? Is it like 100 at it or like?
Yeah, they have, I think, 2 different seatings plus we did our time, which is essentially
2 different seatings so 1,500.
Right.
1,500 meals have to come out of that kitchen at one time.
It's literally insane. And I talked to him about, how do you maintain the quality and all the recipes and that things taste good and that everybody's satisfied. And not only that, the service, not only making it, but getting it out there and the wait staff and the whole nine. It's crazy impressive. If you ever get a chance to do that, definitely check it out and do that tour.
I only remember my experience with the main dining room of a cruise ship was first off of Love Boat, obviously, and then off the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah,
that's where they were.
I think on Amazon, if you have Amazon Prime, look up. There are a couple shows that go behind the scenes on how, like, I think it was an MSC boat. They show how they work,
right,
from top to bottom,
right,
and it's bananas. Like and getting people on and off the boat. But anyway, the sous chef was awesome. We ate in front of him and just had a really good time learning about how things operated on the ship.
Did you feel obligated to not give your true opinion if you didn't like it?
No, I mean, I told him they gave some lasagna that was there, which I really thought was actually pretty good. And then another dish, I think it was like it was some sort of beef dish, and it had mushrooms and stuff. And I said, I'm not really a fan of mushrooms. I mean, so I'm honest. The food was decent, but the lasagna actually was something I would eat here at home. I would be happy to eat here at home.
Okay.
So it was good.
So all in all, so scale of 1 to 10, how was it?
I mean, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's good. Yeah. I mean, I told you, Ron, I had a little bit of problems where I'm dealing with tinnitus and hearing issues and things like that. And it was bugged my trip a little bit. But I'm in the process of working on that, and I think it's stress that's led to me having these issues.
If you don't know what we're talking about, and they might on TV, I've heard them call it tinnitus, and I never pronounced it. That I always pronounce it tinnitus, and it's the ringing in the ears. And I have it. John has it. I've had it for God, I can't tell you how many years. loud rock concerts, playing
Yep.
in bands and too close to, I'm a drummer, hitting the drums too loud. But mostly it comes from, John and I, we were DJs, and you have to wear these every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And, I've had sound this far from my eardrum on both sides for the past 41 years.
Yeah.
So it tends to wear your hearing down. So I've got ringing going on right now. If you
Right.
pay attention to it, it will drive you crazy. And if you pay attention to it, it will get louder. And I've noticed. So a
Yeah. I
lot of
saw.
the treatment I've seen has been just
Yeah.
distraction.
Yep.
That's why I have a fan going on in my room. It's not just really to cool me off. I have a fan so I can hear the sound
Right.
of to distract me so I don't hear the ringing in my ears, which is going on all the time. So
Yeah.
you got treated for it, John?
Well, I mean, I think some of it is related to, and I'm going to check with an ear, nose, throat person, like TMJ and jaw related. And I think I've got maybe some swelling going on. And I actually, I went to the dentist for the first time in years.
Years? That doesn't sound like you, John. Really?
No, well, I had been going the last few years, but I was dealing with a specific tooth and we never scheduled time for cleaning. So I finally went yesterday and my hygienist was like, yeah, we're picking out boulders. And I just started laughing, but it was like that kind of stuff. But she did mention, and so did my dentist, that on the side where I'm hearing the worst, plaque can do that, I guess. So it builds up and it becomes like cement. So they were picking it out. Yeah, yay. Anyway, on the side where I've had the worst tinnitus, they said my teeth are much more worn down on that side. So
worn down. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So clearly I'm probably grinding my teeth, and that probably has caused some inflammation. And work has been, while work has been good, it's been stressful lately. We've had a lot of stuff going on, and I've had a lot of travel, both, in the US and internationally, and a lot of big projects. So I think some of that has led to this. And yesterday I went to the doctors, and essentially they agreed that maybe that was swelling was causing some of the aggravated condition there. And so I got a steroid shot and methylprednisone pills to take. And as I was telling Ron, I went into when the time came to give me the shot, the lady who was the nurse there was like, just give me partial cheek. Yeah, don't. There's some people on this island where they hear, I need to get a shot in your cheek, and they drop trow, as the grease man used to say. I'm like, partial cheek coming up. Here you go.
All right. Hey.
So little sore in that area right now.
Oh my God.
But we're good.
Speaking of which, there's of the cruise.
Yeah.
There's a Netflix documentary that's just come online. And I forget what it's initially called, but it's called the Poop Cruise. It's the one where they lost power. They lost power.
I heard about it.
And they couldn't get it back. And so the toilets were overflowing and down into the hallway. And this is stuff nightmares were made of. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I could stomach it. Really?
No.
But I did notice. I just saw that it coincided with John's return from the cruise, so I just wanted to bring that up, John.
Hey, look, I've run half marathons and marathons, and some of the restrooms, the porta pots that I've used, were things of nightmares. So I can't imagine what it would be like to be stuck on a ship.
Yeah,
that going on. But that said, I just got to be honest. Honestly, favorite ships we've sailed on. We've sailed on a lot of ships, and this is 1,000% honest. The Carnival, Mardi Gras, and Celebration are among the nicest ships we've sailed on, and the nicest staterooms. And
Beautiful.
only thing that I think even comes close is Disney, but Disney is almost twice as expensive to go on Disney cruises. So
awesome.
But that's my recap.
Great. Well, maybe I'll be compensated then for promoting that with the 7 listeners.
Yeah, or something.
We have. Here's your 16 cents, Ron.
Yeah, there you go. No, here you go.
I'm teasing. But well, welcome back. You were missed last week, John. We've gone through we're in the middle of a heat wave right now where I am in the mid-Atlantic, where temperatures are about 100. Heat index is 110. Now,
yeah,
we've been clamoring for this for the past, because it's been a very wet and cool spring.
Yeah, it's wet, and wet here too.
Very few pleasant days. I mean, there were days where we didn't get out of the 50s. It's like Memorial Day weekend when we were camping was miserable.
Yeah.
And, you're waiting for, when are the summer days going to hit? And it was like the first day of summer was Friday, which was the summer solstice. And greatest wave ever for years since I've known this woman has always wanted to throw a Midsummer Night's Eve party, or just a gathering, and with fairy lights and just really good food and some crisp wines, and just a nice gathering, and watch the sun go down on the longest day of the year. And so we did. We finally got to do that. We spent all week power washing the deck. Oh man, that's
a chore.
That in and of itself was interesting. So our son-in-law, God bless him, he's got 3 power washers. So he drops one off at our house, shows us how to operate it, and we were off to the races. Because our deck, it had been a while since we had power washed it, so it had that green kind of it's a fungus, really, and that's on the wood, and so you had to. But as you're doing that, and you really have to get down close, all of a sudden it starts taking the stain off, and you're like, you know what? We're just gonna have to come back and just take it all off, eventually, and redo the whole deck. But for some reason, and I don't apply logic or reason or even physics when I am when I'm power washing the deck, because I was doing the steps, right? No big deal, just getting down real close, and it's coming up, and it looks pretty good. And then I get to the corner. What happens when you get to the corner? The water splashes right back at you. So now I'm soaked on the first step, and I'm like, all right, fine, whatever.
You're just going to get soaked.
I'm just going to get soaked. And so for every step, every corner I got, it was like in my face. It was somewhat refreshing, because but it was also the dirt and the pine needles and the debris that had been there. That's also hitting me, as well as I was power washing the deck. But still, got it done, and we had this really lovely party. And then the next day was this unbelievable heat wave that is coming through, and it's careful what you wish for. So now we have an excessive heat warning that's going on in our area, which is fine. I mean, we're okay where we are. I'm seeing friends though who their substation's been overpowered and electricity's out, so now they have no air conditioning. Supposed to be fixed by midnight. Now they're saying 3 days possible before everything gets fixed. So I know. It's really, I feel
why I have my Tesla backup system.
but how many batteries?
Well, we have a power wall. We have a power wall, which probably a minimum power load where we would just like shut most everything down and maybe run one room with an air conditioner. We could probably last.
And a refrigerator.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. As long as we have some sunshine, we're good.
Oh, very nice.
And full power for everything for like probably 4 to 6 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're so far we're good. I was reminding the greatest wife ever. We were sitting out on the deck having coffee this morning.
Yeah.
And because now that the deck's clean, that's where we go. The cats are like, "What are you doing? You're leaving us. We're just going to be right out here." They're not happy.
Right.
They're not happy. But and the squirrels are running around because their tree fell, and they're like, "What are we supposed to do?"
Yeah. How do we do this now?
But I reminded Grace Wife ever when we had our air conditioning went out in July. So that was that was an interesting, like 4 or 5 days before we get somebody to come out and take. Well, maybe it was even more than a week. And but anyway, we're in a heat wave right now, which is I think appropriate for this being half Christmas Eve. And then the thing that blew my mind, and it always does every year because I've never been there, is on the summer solstice, which is quote unquote technically the longest day of the year. Is that's also the first day of winter in the southern hemisphere. And it just blows my mind. I can't wrap my head around the half of the earth being completely the opposite of what we are. Our weather. And I even looked it up yesterday because I thought I'm 60 years old. Okay. Right. And I guess I never really thought about it. So I looked it up and I was like, is Northern Australia warmer like Florida is? Warmer. Florida and Texas and yeah, it is. It's a tropical. Yeah, it's a tropical climate. 71 to 90 degrees. They have 2 seasons, a wet season and a dry season. And the dry season, they have pleasant, real pleasant, crisp, beautiful days in the 70s or low 80s or whatever. And I just realized, oh wow, yeah, I guess if you're in Australia, if you want to get to a warm area, you go north, which is just again alien concept to me because I'm a northern hemisphere boy. Anyway, so I just thought that thing that's kind of blew my mind. Last week also was the 50th anniversary of Jaws. Dun 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 dun. And Greatest Wife Ever tells the story. Now that came out so it's 50th anniversary, so 1975. So we were 10 years old. Hadn't turned 11 yet, I think. And when that movie came out, now I wasn't allowed to see it.
No,
nope.
Yeah, I probably wasn't either.
Rated PG-13, and I wasn't 13.
Right.
And my P's weren't going to provide any G for me to go to the movie.
Yeah, sorry.
They weren't going to do it. Greatest Wife Ever did go see it.
Yeah.
She went to see it with her sister, her older sister, and the sister's friend, I believe. But the sister wouldn't let her sit next to her. So she had to sit in the row behind her by herself.
All right.
During Jaws, PG-13. And I read up a lot about a lot of the trivia about the movie. And one of the reasons why it was deemed so scary was because you didn't see a lot of the shark. And you didn't see a lot of the shark because that wasn't the plan. The initial plan was, they had this big mechanical shark and you were going to see this great white shark. But because it kept breaking down, they decided to go with point of view camera. You were the shark coming up on the swimmer. So people's imaginations were way worse than anything they could have depicted on the screen, apparently, which led to the appeal and the horror of Jaws. Yeah. And the Greatest Wife Ever said she fell out of her chair. There's a scene. Have you seen it, John?
I've seen it. Yeah. Okay. Now I've seen
There's a scene. Yeah, it's 50 years later. So spoiler alert. There's a scene where a head pops out.
Yeah.
But she said when the head popped out, little 10-year-old Jenny just fell out of she fell out of her chair. I'm, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at you, sweetheart. But I'm still thinking of the 10-year-old. Because now, I got to make a confession. Because now that's me, 60-year-old man, and I scream at when I'm startled, when there's a jump scare or whatever in a movie, and it's usually followed by an expletive. So it's like, wow, foul filth.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharon has just posted on Facebook, I'm your age, Ron, and I went to Jaws with my folks. Many nightmares. Well, let me offer this. I think I may have mentioned it before. So I wasn't allowed to see the movie, but my parents, in their infinite wisdom, said, well, you can read the book.
Oh, Lord. It was probably more graphic.
It was way worse. I read Jaws and I read The Exorcist. I was allowed to read it because they figured, he's reading a book. It's a book. It's reading. He's, that's good for him. There's a lot of stuff, by the way, that goes on in Jaws, the book, that wasn't in the movie, and they purposefully let it out. But there's Sheriff Brody's wife has an affair with Matt Hooper. Apparently, they dated before, and then so then there's all of that's in the book, and I'm like reading it, going, "Are you sure I should be reading this book?" but so I read the book. I never saw the movie until later, much later. I think when it was just done like on cable or when it came on regular television. But you didn't go see the movie, Josh?
No, I mean, I saw it years later. But it came out and you knew about it, and it did enough to scare me not to go into the ocean. Still to this day, by the way, I do not go in the ocean where I cannot see my feet. I will not go in past about this far.
Really?
No. So like, when we're down in the Caribbean and stuff, I do actually get in at that point. I have no problem getting in. There's no phobia about that. But I mean, news this past week in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.
No. What happened?
2 shark attacks.
Oh man, 2?
Yep. Two. Both people.
We're not laughing about the shark attacks. We're laughing about the number 2.
Right. Both people were fine.
Yeah. Okay,
and, just did some lacerations, which were treated and released.
Right.
But an apparent shark attack, and when the waters get warm, it's more likely that this sort of stuff happens. In Florida, they had one last week too, and it was much more serious, I think. So yeah, I'm not big on it. A swimming pool's good for me. I'm usually, that kind of stuff, and clear water.
I never said she had a hard time even taking a shower afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't have that. But
just kidding. And now she has a great idea, and we should do this for the 20th or for the 50th anniversary. Mm-hmm. We have one of these outdoor screens and we have a projector, and we should just put it up on our friend has a pool, and just put it up in their pool, and you have to watch Jaws sitting in the pool. I think that's a great idea. We'd have a few pina coladas, and you're gonna have to throw some extra. You're gonna have to throw extra chlorine in the pool, if you hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Jaws was one of the first summer blockbusters.
Yeah.
Or actually, it was the first summer blockbuster. And if you recall, if you're like my age and remember, movies played for very, very long times in theaters, as long as people were going to go see them.
Right.
You didn't have the huge proliferation of movies then that you have now.
And you couldn't rent them then. There was no such thing as the rental business. There was no VCRs.
No. In fact, it was a big fat hairy deal when it came to TV, because the networks, the 3 networks, there were only 3. Fox didn't even exist then.
Right.
Excuse me. Oh, cough button. Is that the 3 networks would bid millions of dollars to
Yeah.
show these movies.
Yeah.
And that's where you got the edited for television. That's when you saw what was the movie? The End. It was a Burt Reynolds movie. I think it was called The End. And he wakes up and he says GDSOB, but on television, it's like, gosh darn son of a buck. And you're
Yeah,
so
the
they had all
overdubbing.
of the
Oh,
especially when Smokey and the Bandit, with Jackie
yeah.
Gleason, who was the sheriff, Buford T. Justice, but he cursed like a sailor in this whole thing.
Right.
And of course, all of that, you scum bum. I'm like, wow, God, please just don't. just bleep it or just don't show the movie. But that was a big fat hairy deal, was having the three networks actually bid to show these movies. But and I remember when Jaws was on. Well, anyway, so it would play at the theater for months at a time. I remember Rocky, which was the following year, 1976, was huge. It was there forever, played in theaters because people were still going to see it. And I saw it. Did I see that three? No, I saw Rocky twice. I saw Grease 3 times, which is unheard of. When I say I saw it, I mean, I made my parents pay for it 3 different times. They couldn't understand why I wanted to see a movie again and they had to pay for it.
I saw Top Gun 3 times.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
That's in the list, by the way, of the top 50 summer blockbusters, which leads us into today's question of the day, because it's time to get the gray matter working, fire off the synapses, engage the frontal lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. Dang, it's the dun dun dun. Question of the day. We call it the QOD for short, playing for pride, not prize. You put your answer down in the comment section, and here's today's question of the day. USA Today released the top 50 summer blockbusters of all time. Number 1 was Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back.
Huh.
Not the
original
Star Wars. Yeah. When it was just called Star Wars. Anyway, what was number 2 on that list? Super duper give it away clue. You can make all kinds of guesses, but super duper give it away clue. It was released in 1984. And it was the first in the franchise, including a reboot in 2016. Reboot in 2016. All right. One more time. USA Today released the top 50 summer blockbusters. Number 1 was Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. What was number 2? Super duper give it away clue. It was released in 1984. It was the first in the franchise, including a reboot in 2016. All right. Think about that. Put your answers down in the comment section. Good luck. Yeah, I think we should watch Jaws on the oh man. Trying to start the God, what is it called? The power washer. Trying to start that. If you ran it for a while, then you turn it off. You had to wait for it to cool down because it would lock.
Yeah.
I almost pulled my shoulder out. I was trying to, I'm like, oh, come on, I'm not that weak. And I couldn't move it. And then after it cooled down, then it was like, it started right up. So
mine's electric. So, well, no, but you know what? It had been so long since I used it, and I just used it a few weeks ago that when I pressed the button, it didn't want to start, and I kind of hit it on and off, and it would go. I'm like, what the? And then finally, after doing it a couple times, it actually started. And
was it the battery?
He went, I don't know. I don't know what was going on, but
goes in the machine, and then it just fixed itself. And why question it and walk away?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know.
That's what I do. I'm not questioning it. It's fixed. It's working now. It's fine. It's good. Fixed itself. I don't hear that sound in my car anymore. All right, today's question of the day. USA Today released the top 50 summer blockbusters of all time. Number 1 was Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. What was number 2? Super duper give it away clue, released in 1984. It was the first in the franchise, including a reboot in 2016. What was the movie?
All right. Got a few answers.
Do we? Let's see. Who's the first one? First one is
pretty wrong, but I don't think they rebooted E.T.
Sharon. No, I'm sorry. And E.T. was 82. I remember that distinctly because I was in senior year in high school. But that's a great guess. It's a great guess. Actually, it's E.T. the extraterrestrial.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't rebooted that, quite frankly. The second one comes in from Jim.
Jim. Da-da-da-da-da. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
That's correct. There you go. Ghostbusters. Number 2 summer blockbuster of all time. Susan, also with the right answer. Ghostbusters. Yes.
And Sharon said she didn't listen to all the clues.
Oh, that's all right. It's okay, Sharon.
It's okay.
But the super duper give it away clue. Well, the reboot was in 2016. That was with the all female cast.
I was thinking Star Trek at first.
Oh, yeah.
They rebooted that as well, but I couldn't remember what year.
No, you are correct.
Yeah.
No, 84 Ghostbusters, 84, and then there was the reboot with Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, and which was a very funny movie. Then they decided to do Ivan Reitman, who was the director of the first one. His son Jason Reitman decided to do a sequel to the first 2 movies, and that's when you got Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then Ghostbusters Frozen Empire or whatever that this last one was.
I don't know.
And I'm sure there'll be another one because their movie studios just can't not dig into that. I think if you look at the top grossing movies of all time, there isn't a single original one in there. I think they're all sequels.
Really? Well, I did check it out, by the way. Star Trek the motion picture was 1979 was the first one, and the series ended up with The Final Frontier in 1989. So it went on for 10 years.
All right, let's see. International, worldwide, domestic box office. Let's do domestic box office mojo. Weekend, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, seasons, all time. Here we go. All time.
Okay.
All time. Top lifetime gross was Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
There
you go. Top lifetime. Yeah, there you go. Oh, top grossing movies that never hit number 1. No. There you go. Well, I want to see the whole list. There you go. Avengers Endgame sequel, Spider-Man No Way Home sequel, Avatar. I take that back. There you go.
But are these adjusted for today's dollars, or are we just talking?
No.
See, that's what I would prefer to hear. Because I consider that null and void if you just use current dollars versus current dollars then.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Top lifetime.
I hate to be a curmudgeon.
Grosses
about these sort of things.
Adjusted for inflation.
There we go. That's what
what's going to be in there.
What's
it's going to be top.
What?
Well, here, I'll give you the top 5. Sound of Music at number 5.
Okay.
Number 4 is Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. So the first Star Wars. Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was just called Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Titanic at number 3.
Okay. Cameron.
Avatar at number 2.
Cameron.
Again, James Cameron. Correct. Right. Wow,
and
2 in the top 5.
Coming in.
Number 1, adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
Estimates place its inflation-adjusted worldwide gross at approximately $3.4 billion, according to the Guinness Book of World Records.
Okay.
And that would be Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. Okay. See, now this is a legitimate list right there.
The other one is a legitimate list as well, John.
BS. It's
It's
BS.
Jurassic World,
dollars
Titanic
to
at 9,
You
Avengers
cannot.
Infinity War, Avatar The Way of Water, Black Panther,
Meh. No.
Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick. Not even Top Gun, but Top Gun Maverick.
Right. See, this is where, no. Sorry.
Avatar at 4, Spider-Man No Way Home at 3, Avengers Endgame number 2, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Nope.
Number 1.
Nope.
936,662,000, almost $1 billion domestic.
Yeah.
Almost $1 billion domestic box office. That's great.
Again, this is fine, but it has to be dollars for dollars. I mean,
okay.
Doesn't work for me otherwise. Because there's inflation. It's like ignoring that there's inflation. That's like saying we buy, what we buy today is equal to what we bought then. It's just not. Okay.
I
would like to buy a house for $40,000, but that doesn't happen.
Now your car costs $40,000.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And that's on the low end.
I know.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here are the top 10 summer blockbusters, according to USA Today. And I guess this has to do with amount gross. Guardians of the Galaxy at number 10. Number 9 was Jurassic Park, the original one, 1992.
Yeah.
Star Wars Return of the Jedi was at number 8, part of the original 3 trilogy. Top Gun, there you go, John, number 7th. And $9 of that is from you.
I feel the need. The need
for speed. Number 6, 1989, Batman.
There you go.
Summer blockbuster film. Yeah, I remember that.
$20 from
Jaws came in at number 5. The first blockbuster of all time, the one that started it all, was number 5. Star Wars, first Star Wars, 77 at number 4. The Dark Knight at number 3. That's surprising. 2 Batman movies.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's the one with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger as Joker.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. You want to know how I got these scars? Number 2 was Ghostbusters. Number 1, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Summer blockbusters. I went by our local theater the other day and just to swing by and with The Greatest Wife Ever, and we picked up some popcorn, the fresh popcorn, and buttered it and salted it and took it home. Didn't even go to see the movie. Just walked up and said, "Hey, can we get some popcorn?" Yeah, go ahead. So I went and got popcorn.
I've never thought of doing that, but I should.
It's so good. It's
a good
movie
idea,
theater popcorn.
Yeah.
It's expensive as all get out, but still, it's movie theater popcorn.
And then you eat it on an empty stomach and you get that stomach ache later.
I know. And I'm like, let's go see this movie while popcorn for dinner, which seems like a great idea. The first 7 handfuls.
I know.
And then that's a question. Oh, do we have to go? We have to go. How do you eat your popcorn? Are you one at a time?
Oh,
are you 2 or 3 at a time? Are you a handful? You're a handful and you throw it in your mouth?
Pretty much.
You miss and it hits your shirt and it's down in your lap, or is that just me?
A little bit of that occasionally. So,
Greatest Wife Ever. Get this.
Happens.
She and I we would go see a movie or whatever, and then we'd get the armrest at the theater where we go. You can pull that up, so you can cuddle. But we get a large popcorn, and ask them for butter throughout. Now they don't even bother anymore. They give you at this other theater, you butter your own, so you figure out how.
Correct. Yeah, which is good.
But we get the big bucket, and then we'd sit there and we get the salt packets and all that stuff. And I'd sit there. She'd hold it. Either she held it, and she's on my right, and I'm right-handed. And but I would hit a vein of butter and salt, right? I'd hit a vein, but then she'd shake it. I'm like, oh no! She's trying to evenly distribute it, which I get. That's fine, that's her style. But I'm like, oh no, but it was right there. Oh man! So now we each get a large popcorn.
Oh,
I know.
Well, I was going to say,
I
in
may have
our
mentioned this
theater,
before, but I'll tell
go
you
ahead.
her butter hack.
Yeah.
If you want to get butter throughout, you get a straw, a drinking straw, and put it up under the nozzle. You put it down into the bag of popcorn, and you put the straw into the drinking, the butter nozzle. Turn the butter on, and it'll go down the straw and into, and then it evenly distributes the butter in the bag.
Well, I don't have to do that at our theaters, because in our theaters they have the almost like the crane game full of popcorn. So they pop it and then they put it in like the crane game thing, and then they just give you the bag. You put the bag below, you press a button, popcorn drops out. So you can drop in a first layer, then go to the butter machine, drop a second layer, butter machine, third layer, butter machine, and then put some of the sprinkling cheese salt on top.
No. Cheese?
Yes. White cheddar cheese.
Oh, negative, John.
On top.
I mean, I'll eat that if it's in like the holiday tin, and you have the white cheddar, and then you have the caramel, and you have the regular yellow.
Or the nacho cheese.
Not in the movie theater. No, I don't do the different flavorings.
All right.
And there's salt. I know we got to go. There's salt they have there. You can get the packets, but it's the tiny fine grain.
Oh, I love that.
Popcorn salt. Yeah. I mean, you can hear my cardiologist yelling at me as I'm
my blood pressure.
Stop doing that. No.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Hey, look, we got to go. Are we back next week, John? He's looking at his calendar.
I literally am. What is that? That's July 2nd? No, July 1st.
Is it really? So. Wow. All right.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think we're back.
Have a very merry half Christmas and a happy rest of the new year, which isn't a new year. The year is now half over, almost half over. So have a very, very merry half Christmas.
Right.
See you on the beach. It's Sandy Claus. Get it?
Sandy Claus.
Come on.
Yeah,
I'm going to plant this. I'm going to plant this for you. Just hear those sleigh bells ringling, jing, jing, jingling too. Come on. It's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling. All right. Listen. And I'm serious. Try to stay cool if you're hot, and have a wonderful week. And we will talk to you next week. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. John Yaglinski, Ron Ross. Love you, mean it. Bicycle. Merry Christmas. Merry half Christmas. Or Leon.